All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let me say good day for wherever we might be listening or streaming from. I want to welcome you to the first edition of the AI Summit, part of the Thriving Tech events. Yes, it's now the first event we'll be having. This is basically the sixth. Earlier this year we had a very great one in Nigeria, and of course we're having the AI Summit to round up the year. And we have in our midst great speakers from far, far, when I say far, from very far, 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 and of course from far and near, because when it comes to being near, they are right on our screens, they are live with us here on Zoom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Olamipo Adewale Temowo, and I'll be your moderator for today's great tech event, one of its kind, an exceptional one. You can't find another one of this, and I want to believe that, of course, yeah, people here people who are particular about growth. They are particular about, okay, how the world is revolving. And we'll be making sure this is very quick. We'll be spending about a 1 hour, 30 minutes. And like we promised you, which we've shared earlier, all our speakers are on ground to share beautiful, insightful knowledge, to impact us positively. Yeah, and on our other program, we have Chiruk, yes, all the way. We also have Kola Wale. Also, we have Patrick, and of course, yes, definitely we have Paul that will be speaking with us today. And ladies and gentlemen, most importantly, we have the convener, yes, of Thriving Tech, not just the AI Summit, the convener of the whole Thriving Tech, Mr. Femi Ailara, is right here with us, and he will be speaking with us shortly. Yes, so to prepare your mind, I want you all to bring out your pens, right? Have a note beside you because it's going to be very insightful. Our speakers are going to be speaking intelligently to us. They'll be communicating to us as expected. And of course, if you have questions, please, as speakers are speaking, make sure you are noting them down because, yes, we will be having the Q&A session, question and answer session, where you'll be asking our gallant and, speakers questions that revolves around areas and topics they'll be speaking on. All right. Without wasting much of time, I would like to bring on the convener of this great event. I wouldn't call it an event to say the convener of Thriving Tech, Mr. Femi Ayi Lara. Yes, please, let's bring him on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Olamipo. Thanks everyone for joining this event. It's a pleasure coming to you again. Um, my job here is very quick. Like Olamipo mentioned, we have gallant speakers that are going to talk to us and help us to understand AI better. I'll quickly talk about Thriving Tech, who we are, and what our focus is as an organization, and what you should expect in today's event. My name is Femi Ailara, and Thrivitech is a global initiative dedicated and focused at empowering aspiring professionals to build successful careers in digital. I believe is talent should not be constrained to as a result of background or location. We are all global citizens and we all have equal opportunity to make a change in the world. Our mission is to empower aspiring and early career professionals to become the best they can be and to succeed in their chosen field of career. We do focus on mentoring, we do focus on supporting one another to grow. And we have meetups in the UK and currently in Nigeria. And like Olamipo said, this is our last event of the year, which which says there would be more to come in the coming year. At this summit, our focus is about exploring how AI can elevate human potentials and expand opportunity, connect learners, builders, and leaders across the world and across different ecosystems. It's also designed to equip participants with insight, inspiration, and practical guidance to help them thrive in this new age of AI. And in Thrive Tech, our principle is that AI is not just technology, it's a tool that amplifies human capacity and opportunity when understood and applied ethically and proactively. Please visit our website, www.thrivingtech.net, to see upcoming events and opportunities. Take a listen, enjoy the session, bring forward your questions, use the Q&A tab, or raise up your hands when it's the question and answer session. I'll hand back to our moderator to proceed from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was a very wonderful one from our convener, the brain behind Thrive in Tech. And so far, it has been very impactful. The 5.0 edition in Lagos, Nigeria was exceptional. And of course, just to chip it in very quickly, a piece of information we all didn't pay for. Yes, Thrive Tech again is coming to Nigeria next year. So prepare, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and we are bringing lots of people in the industry just to make sure we are equipped as possible. All right, moving on, we will be bringing on our first speaker for today. She will be talking on the human plus AI partnership and how agents empowers people and not replace them. We all have seen our flyers. We all have seen, we've communicated. She's not here with us in Nigeria. She'll be speaking to us from the cold city of, apologies, she'll be speaking to us from the cold city of Norway, and very quickly I would be reading a brief about her. On our means today, we have Chiruk. I'm sure I pronounced that rightly. And who is Chiruk to say? She's an AI domain lead, and also she drives AI transformation strategies for organizations. She's also an educator and innovator. Chiruk has collaborated with multiple universities, delivering comprehensive AI courses to students and to professionals. She's the CEO and founder of Agent X Academy, a live and on program designed to tech individuals how to build, sell AI agents, bringing the gap between AI theory and practical business application. Ladies and gentlemen, with the background spanning from AI consulting, education, and entrepreneurship, Chiruk is passionate about empowering people to leverage AI as a tool for argumentation rather than replacements. If you know your answer now busy wherever you are, please make welcome Chiruk from Norway. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so glad to be part of this. So, as for my presentation, I will be presenting how we can use AI agents not as a way to replace us as a human, but to empower us and to upscale our capabilities. And for that, I will share my screen with you. Okay. Wait a minute. This can go now. Are you able to see?
Oh, yes, yes, we are.
Right. So, have you ever heard about the words AI agents, AI workflows, agentic AI? It's one of the words that has been used most this year. It's one of these buzzwords in tech, especially in this year and of course next year's as well. And in this presentation, I will explain to you what does it mean, and we'll make it so simple for you to understand through practical examples. And for that, we will go through 3 levels. The first one is large language models. It's what we have in ChatGPT is the technology behind it. And we will move to the next level, which is AI workflows. And thirdly, we will see what does AI agents means. So for the first one, LLMs. What does that mean? LLMs is, simply said, is the technology used in chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, and is one of the biggest breakthroughs in AI. Is because before we could interact with machines through human text, we only could have talked to them through like coding languages like Python, C#, etc. But with LLMs, we can interact nowadays with our computers through human text, through images, voice, and human text. And it's so simple. I'm sure like many of us and of you have used ChatGPT, for example. You give it a text, a request, for example, draws an email request in a coffee chat, and as an output, he will give you a polished, professional email. And for that, you give an input, the LLM processes and reason, then give you the output. And it's so simple. But what if like you want to ask the LLM to give you some information that is like, it doesn't have access to, like, for example, personal data about you. For example, I want to ask it, when is my next coffee chat? He doesn't have access to this information, so he can't answer this question. You can try this for yourself or ask it some question about some private data in your company. He won't be able to do that. And this is one of the main limitations in LLMs. And one other thing is that, for example, after drafting you an email, you wanted to send it. He won't be able to do that. So this is another limitation that comes from the nature of LLMs, that they can only answer your questions with human text, but they can't give you like do actions through this reason that they have done. And this is why we have came with AI workflows that can respond to these 2 limitations, the limited knowledge and the passive nature of LLMs. And this is AI workflows. For example, here you use LLM as the brain of the workflow, but you add steps and tools. Let's say, for example, I want to ask us about like when will be my next meeting. This time I will link the LLM and give it access to a tool, which is my calendar. So next time I ask it about some personal events, like it will search in my Google Calendar first because it has access to it. And to do that, you take the LLM, for example, OpenAI, the one used in ChatGPT, and you ask it, for example, and you give it this prompt. When I ask you about personal events, search my Google Calendar first. And next time a user asks it, for example, when will be my next meeting, the LLM will search Google Calendar and return correct answer. And this way we have a response to our first limitation, which is the limitation in knowledge. And think about many use cases. For example, if you're working with a company that works with so many databases, you can access to you give access to the LLM to your data, and based on that, it can give you answers regarding your company data. And for AI workflows, even they have the possibility to do that, they present another limitation, which is, for example, next time I give us a different question, not regarding my calendar, but I ask it, for example, what is the weather today? For this, he can't answer it. Why? Because he doesn't know first my location, or know and doesn't have access to tools to gather the weather information. Because he was at the first play only programmed to check calendar. So to solve this problem, you have to create a new workflow that can answer this task for you. And another time you have a question about like something like some company data you're working with, and you're asking about some KPI. And for that, you have to check it yourself, or if you want it to be automated, you will create a workflow for it. But each time you have seen here, each time you have some kind of different task, you have to create another workflow for it. And this is the main constraints about AI workflows, that they are not general. you have to create for each task a new kind of workflow, and this will take so much time for you. And before moving to AI agents which solve this problem, I will explain one of the terms that you will hear if you're trying to understand what AI agents means. And if you have ever worked with them, you definitely have heard RAG. This is one of the technical terms that you've seen thrown around, like whenever someone talks about AI agents, and it seems to be like something technical and hard to understand, but it's so simple. It means retrieval augmented generation, and this is the technology behind the capability to retrieve information that the LLMs wasn't trained on. For example, ChatGPT before, it was trained on so many data. That's why we call it large language model, because it's a model that is large. It was trained on many data. And even if you train it on all the data we have, every day we have some new information. So if you have some new news, we won't retrain ChatGPT every time, but we will give it RAG. This is a technology that gives the LLMs the capability to search about information he doesn't have in his training. And for example, if you go to ChatGPT just as an experiment and ask it, for example, some news about some topic you're interested in, he will search in Google, for example, Wikipedia, in some newspaper, and give you links that he used in his search. And this is what you use, like the technology behind that, it's RAG. And this is also what we give to our workflows, is the parts that lets our workflows, for example, connect to our calendars or read like some documents and, for example, check weather APIs or any kind of APIs, and also fetch information from your databases in your company. So next time you hear about RAG, it's so simple. It's the technology that lets you gather information from any kind of source that you can find online. And I will give you an example of how workflows work in practice. Let's say, for example, me as a content creator, I have to every time wake up have my computer at 8 a.m. and search about new articles in AI. And then I will use Perplexity to summarize the articles. Then use Claude or ChatGPT to draft a LinkedIn post. Then do it every day, repetitively. If I wanna make it more fast and make it like more autonomous, I will create a workflow that I will feed it like the articles in a Google Sheet, and he will use Perplexity to summarize the articles, and then you use Google Cloud to draft the LinkedIn post, and then I will schedule this to be repeated daily at 8 a.m. And this is so easy to do. You use like some kind of AI agents tool or AI workflow tool like Make.com or NSN and any other ones. And you make the step-by-step workflow. And from that, if you connect your LLM to tools like Perplexity and Claude, if you prefer to use OpenAI, the model that is used in ChatGPT, you do that. And it's so simple from that. And as we have seen, for each kind of task, you have to create a new workflow. And this is one of the biggest limitations we have in AI workflows. And to respond to that, we have developed AI agents, which is the game changer here. It replaces you, the human decision maker, with an LLM. Instead of having you create a workflow for each one of your tasks, the agents understands your goal, your need, and it adapts to that and uses the tools you give it to gather information and to make decisions. And based on these decisions, it executes them. And also, it has the ability to iterate. For example, if you use an AI workflow and the output, for example, it was a post that he will create for you or something. Every time he creates something for you and you don't like it, you have to reiterate the whole workflow. But here in AI agents, they can do that by themselves. In their nature, you give them a goal, not step by step. And until they achieve that goal, they will keep reiterating themselves until they achieve it. And AI agents must do two things. The first thing is to reason. And the second thing is to act. And from here comes the React framework. It's one of the technical words as well as RAG that you might encounter if you're working with AI agents. And it sounds intimidating at first, but it's so simple. The re here, it means reason, and act, it means act. And it's the technology behind like agents. They have the capability to reason, which is thinking about the best approach, and also to act, and acting using the tools you give it access to. And all agents must be able to reason and act. And if they do just one of these things, they can't be called AI agents. So here I will give you an example to show you an agent that I have created for one of my clients. Here I have made this a bit simple for you to follow. This is one of my clients has a need like to have more clients. And so I created a lead generation agents that can, they know their niche and they know their offer, but they just started out and they don't have like enough clients yet. And for that, I asked them what they do to gather clients for their agency. And for that, they have told me that they look in their region about like their clients basically are advertising companies. They look in LinkedIn, in Google, in several websites about the companies or the agencies for advertising that are available in their region. And they gather all of them and they put them in this Google Sheets. And then after putting them in the Google Sheets, they gather also the work mail of the decision makers because they need to contact them and preach their offer. So they also gather the emails for each one of the decision makers of that company. Then they send emails, they draft them by themselves, and they wait for a response that is like hopefully shows interest in their offer. And this whole process takes so much time in their work. So I offered them an agent that is fully automated. They don't need to do anything. And at the end, they get the clients that are interested in their offers. And I created this one in NSN. And it's so simple. Here I have the Google Sheets, which has already have the companies they want to they see as their potential clients, and they also have the work mails. And how I gather the work mails of these companies is using this tool, use Clay. It's one of the best tools if you're working with lead generation. And I have made here a decision tree like with F. If I have an email that is available and valid, I will draft an email using the LLM that I have picked here, which is OpenAI. And then here, the LLM, which is the brain of our agents here, will draft us the email. And for that, I have connected it through the Google Sheets to gather information, because here we have the location, we have the company size, we have the summary about the person we're gonna contact, we have the email, we have everything about that person. And I have given it here the instructions. It's a well-detailed prompts. And a quick point here, if you want to build AI agents, it's important to know how to write prompts. And it's called prompt engineering, by the way. In the first time, you can start with something simple and level up from that. And here in the last node, we send the email. And afterwards, here we will monitor the email response instead of having someone every time check the email inbox of the company. Here in our agent, it can automatically monitor the email responses and analyze the responses as well to detect if there is some signal of interest by the person. For example, if someone we sent an email to and they have responded with a positive response, here we will update the Google Sheets with a qualified lead, and if not, it will be unqualified lead. And here, as a result, we have an automated lead generation agent that can gather leads for us and can reach out to them and also analyze the response. And at the end, we have a list of all of the clients that have interest in our offer. This is one of the examples, and it depends on your work, your kind of field. There is so many kind of things you can do with AI agents, and it's so simple to start with. You don't need to be technical. For example, here you just need to pick something and grab something and put it here. Like you don't see some code in here, so it's so simple to use. And a quick summary, we went from LLMs, the brain of our agents, and it's basically like we use what we use in ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini as well. Then we moved to AI workflows, which is step by step plus the LLM we have. Then we have moved to our third level, which is AI agents, which have the most autonomy and capability than any other of these ones here. And if there is something to keep in mind here is that you don't need to build an AI agent for any kind of task you encounter. Sometimes an LLM might be enough. Sometimes a workflow might get the work done, but if you need more autonomy, more iterations, for example, because the agents can reiterate based on the response they give you, and especially for more complex tasks, you might need to develop or build an agents. And I have heard so many talk about either these agents will be replacing us as humans, as the doers of our work. And what I have seen is that unfortunately, so many companies see agents are more cost efficient than recruiting people. But when looking closer into that, I've seen that the companies give more value to people that know how to use these tools, especially like especially if you're in a tech company, and even if you're not, it's good to see how you can make your work even more efficient, and you can speed up the process and remove so much of the repetitive work and redundant work and replace it with agents like this. This will make you shine out in your work, and the capacity to interpret these AI agents and work with them will be one of the most valuable assets to you as an employee as well. So this is it for the AI agents. I hope you understand them clearly now, and it's not intimidating as you might have seen before this. And we will move, I guess, to the next one. My presentation is done. I guess we'll move to, I will leave it to Olampido to see with you which one will present the next one for you guys.
Yes, so that was a very lovely one from Churuk. So apologies if I made mention earlier that from Norway, Churuk is from France, yeah. So if we have questions, please let's put them down, and we'll be having the question session after I bring up after Kolawole is done. So we'll just take questions from both Kolawole and Churuk. But yeah, just a recap of everything. Although on a very high level, Churuk, we're not expecting the high level. And I know there will be a lot of questions around how can you break this down for us? How can it, be quite simpler for people to, understand, like beginners who want to come into tech and the likes to say. But then we've got to understand that AI does not replace human, but then it makes our work effective, just like the age where they started using calculator. A lot of people thought calculator would replace mathematicians, but the truth is it made the work of mathematicians more easy to say. And of course, Chiruk has said that greatly. All right, next is going to be Kolawole. A lot of you have heard from him, and I know a lot of us are anticipating to hear from him again. It was with us virtually at Thriving Tech 5.0 Lagos, and of course, he's here again. For people that are just joining us, I'll go briefly. It's not the whole brief, it's not the whole details of or profile of Kolawole, just a quick one on Kolawole to say. Yeah, so Kolawole is a highly skilled data scientist and AI engineer. Now, that's why it's an AI summit. With over 7 years of industry experience in data analytics, machine learning, and data engineering. He has intermediate level proficiency in Python and SQL and sorry. Okay. He has an intermediate. Sorry, my call is disrupting my slide. That's why I'm breaking. Apologies. Yeah, he has an intermediate level proficiency in Python and SQL with active hands-on engagement with tools like Databricks and the likes. He specializes in developing scalable ML models, automated BIs, dashboard, and AI-driven insights using so many tools. His expertise spans from cloud computing to data warehousing and a whole lot. Passionate about knowledge sharing, he has anchored over 70 data analytics training sessions. Kolawole David is a certified AWS cloud practitioner with 2 MSc certifications, one in software engineering from the University of West London and the other in integrated petroleum engineering from the University of Benin, a BSc in mineral engineering from the University of Lagos, UNILAG, and a multiple data-related certifications. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Kolawole from the United Kingdom.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really great to be a part of this summit. Please let me confirm that you can all hear me and you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, man, that introduction was great. Thank you. Thank you once again. I want to say a big thank you to the organizers of this summit, and of course, everyone that is a part of this summit. Yeah, so I'll be running you through unified analytics with Microsoft Fabrics, OneLake and Power BI at the core. Yeah, because of my audience, I want to believe is a mixed audience. So yeah, I've got the technical experts in the house, I've got the non-technical experts in the house, and of course, it's an AI summit, so I'll try as much as possible to keep it within the shape that all my audience can benefit from it. So I'll quickly run you through Fabrics plus the OneLake and emphasize on a unified foundation. I'll then go deeper into OneLake and Power BI at the core. Then, of course, because it is an AI summit, I'm going to tell you where AI plugs in and the culture I want to promote. So basically, I know that I must say thank you again, Churuk, for that presentation. Awesome presentation. There's so much buzz around AI agents. Yes, AI has come to stay. So it's key that as data professionals, we do not just practice or just probably change different roles. Probably you are working as a data scientist or working as a data engineer. You don't necessarily need to become an AI engineer. You can see first master AI in the area where it can optimize your work as an AI, as a data professional. And added to that, you also want to see how best you can practice or get your organization ready to embrace AI, because AI has come to stay. So let me go right into it. Yeah. So what is Microsoft Fabric? Yes, because it's a mixed audience, I'll just quickly run everyone through it, because of course, for those of us who are not familiar with Microsoft Fabrics. Yeah, so Microsoft Fabric is an end-to-end analytics platform that provides a single integrated environment for data professionals and the business to collaborate on data projects. So if you talk about Microsoft Fabric, just understand that it's an end-to-end unified platform where you can do your data engineering, your data integration, your data warehousing. You can connect to your reporting platforms like Power BI and generate your reports, right? So it's more like an end-to-end platform that gives you that privilege to do all of the different data work, and of course, create different solutions for your end users to consume. Yeah, so that's that on data fabrics. Now, let's just go deeper into data fabrics and talk about some of the key tools that you will see within the data fabrics environment. So you have got the likes of your data factory. You can, of course, pull data from different angles, from different sources, right? You can ingest data from different sources. You can automate the ingestion of this data from different sources. And of course, for the data scientists in the house, when you ingest this data, if you're working in a cross-functional team, your data engineers would help you ingest your data, make data warehouses available. You then pull this data to do your exploratory data analysis. You select your models, then you build your models to deploy them with, and of course, to write all your codes, you have what we call the Fabric notebooks, right? So I am talking about tools you will see within the Fabric environment. Now, let's talk about business intelligence and reporting. So it's one thing to pull all of create your data warehouses, your curated tables. How do end users have access or convert this data into insights such that the companies can take strategic decisions from this data set? So we have got BI developers in the house. We have got business intelligence analysts that would, of course, spool the data from the database or from the tables that have been created, right? So in data fabrics environment, you also have your fabric warehouses, right? Where you, as the business intelligence analyst, you can spool your data, then of course, connect with your BI, your Power BI platform, do some little data cleaning if you have to do, right? Then create different visualizations, different charts, do all of your visualization, do modeling if you have to do, build your semantic models, of course, and then do your visualization. Now, all of these processes, from data integration to data engineering to data science to business intelligence, all of it, there's a platform that provides the data for you. And what is that? It is your One Lake. So your One Lake is a single unified logical data lake automatically provided for each Fabric tenant, right? So all the different stuff you're going to be doing, right, from data engineering, everything is provided you have a unified platform, which is your One Lake, where you pull your data set from. And now I'm going to go in deeper, right, to tell you why this is very important, right? And I will not just tell you why this is very important. At the end of the day, what culture as a data professional will you be promoting when you use tools like this, right? At the same time, as a data engineer or data analyst, if you are learning a tool, what tools should you concentrate on so that you'll be job ready? You would of course be able to democratize data to your end users, and it's going to be such that you don't create duplicates at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, this presentation is tied towards promoting that culture, right? So industry best practice, at the same time helping you to be AI ready. You want to make your organization AI ready. So let's go deeper, guys. Okay, now we have talked about data analysis, we have talked about data engineering, integration, data science, and the likes, right? Now, in the absence of when all of this is done and we do not bring in data governance, I can tell you without any iota of doubt that you might be running or championing projects without control, right? So if you want to put all of your different data assets in check, if you want to integrate security, you want to put policies in place, you talk about data governance, right? So you talk about what? Data governance. So what's data governance? Data governance is the set of policies, rules, controls, and processes that ensure that data is trusted, secure, compliant, discoverable, and used consistently. For those of us who are familiar with Databricks, you will understand that we have got what we call the catalog resource in Databricks. And if For instance, you are a creator of you are the one who created or ingested the data set. You can actually give people access to data set. You can give them permission to using those data set. So it cuts across you giving people access to the data resource or the data asset, even access to models and the like. So there is a lot. So it's not just building models, it's not just building dashboard. Excuse me. It's also putting some checkpoints, putting some policies in place such that you work within a controlled environment, an access controlled environment, right? So for the data governance bit of Microsoft Fabrics, you'll be looking at Microsoft Purview, right? So when putting this to practice, you are guaranteed of a one data foundation. So you see that you have got single consistent data repository for all your organizational needs. Added to that, you have got a shared governance and of course shared semantics, leading to what? A unified data governance environment. Now, like I mentioned, this is not a technical presentation, so to speak, right? It's more good culture, industry best practice, at the same time, helping us to be conscious of how we can make our organization AI ready, right? Because this is an AI summit. Okay, so now failure to do some of the things which I've mentioned, like putting a data governance in place, having a unified data platform or storage platform, right? You would create what we call data silos. So imagine you work as a data analyst for your organization. It might be, you guys might be having cloud resources, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, what have you, or you might even be working within on-prem environment, right? And take, for instance, you're working on on-prem environment. Today you wanted to create you wanted to create a report for probably the CEO or a senior director, and the files which you wanted to use, all the tables you wanted to use, you loaded them from a file, not from you loaded, you don't even have a database, a central point of truth where you pull them from. So you want to create your own report, you loaded data from this end. Nobody has endorsed the data warehouse or the table which you loaded the data from. Data analyst B wants to create a report as well. He does the same thing. You have chunks of data scattered all over the place. At the end of the day, you have got what we call data silos all over the place. Now, what does this lead to? It becomes you expose your organization to to a very they cannot even give account of their data assets or their resources. So every other time someone else wants to create a report, they will have to go over the same process, right? Now, all of these different practice, trust me, it's not healthy. So what are we saying? What is the one of the key messages in this presentation is you practicing the unified data culture where you are able to maintain a central point of truth, right? And of course, while doing this, you will not just make your work easy for you. Of course, you are putting your organization in the direction where they will be AI ready. Okay, I hope I'm doing well with time. Yeah, so I'll just dive a little deeper into this. That's OneLake. Just tell you how you can make your organization ready when it comes to having a unified platform. So why is it important that we would want to explore the different benefits from OneLake? So it's very important because data is just stored once, right? So data is stored once. Aside the fact that data is stored once, you see that you are able to take out duplicates, right? Now, the OneLake in Microsoft has got shortcuts that you could actually gain access to your data resource in different environments, right? You can gain access to your data resource in different environments. As a matter of fact, you can even pull data from an external cloud provider take, for instance, you are working in the Microsoft Azure environment and you want to pull data from AWS. You can pull data from AWS, provided you have your credentials to access that data and create it as a shortcut in OneLake. That's how beautiful the OneLake resource is, right? So at the end of the day, you have different benefits that you can help your organization benefit from when it comes to promoting a unified architecture, at the same time a unified culture. And some of the benefits, like I mentioned, there are data stored once, logical unification, discoverability, cross-team reuse. So every other teammate can have access to this resource, which you have, of course, you have shared, right? So let me just go a bit deeper. For a number of us who are new to OneLake, right? The data flow which I have presented to you is not automatically the regular data flow which you have, right? It's not, it's quite flexible. But for those who are new to this, you will see that there are different key points you need to be familiar with when it comes to your source, your data source, your ingestion phase. You can use your data factory to ingest, you create your different data pipelines. It could be a real-time pipeline. It will be created in batches, right? You could also create, like I mentioned, your OneLake shortcuts, which will give you access to different resources. And while you are gaining access to all of these different resources, you are avoiding duplication within your data platform. Okay, this is just briefly talking about the OneLake hierarchy, right? So I'm gradually going towards Power BI just to, give us some insights around that, right? So we've got the base. So looking at this base, you see that you after you have ingested your data, you've saved it within the OneLake environment. You can create curated tables, right? For those of us who are familiar with the medallion architecture, where you have your bronze for the data which you have ingested, you have your silver directory or the silver environment for transformed data. You also have the gold environment for business ready data set, right? So all of those tables which you have worked on can be stored within the OneLake. Then for those of us who are then Power BI developers or analysts, you can then build semantic models, right? You build your semantic model and then you then make your reports available to your end users. So this is just a simple simple sketch that talks you through the OneLake data architecture and see of how you can be scaled within the use case, which is for reporting. If you wanted to create reports or dashboards for your end users. Okay, now let's go into Power BI at the core. Now, don't forget, I've talked you through the unified culture. I've talked you through OneLake. Now I'm also emphasizing on Power BI. At the end of the day, we'll see how best we can combine all of this together. First, to promote a unified culture, and secondly, to ensure or make our organizations AI ready. Okay, so let's go. So talking about Power BI, please, I want everyone to change their mindset. For those of us who want to become Power BI developers or analysts or data analysts, you must understand that BI is not just all about charts, or when you see a bar chart, no, there is a lot that goes into it, right? That's why we have different roles like BI developers, business intelligence analysts, and the likes, right? So there's a lot that goes into it. So aside ingesting your data, building different stepwise pipelines within the Power Query editor environment, you also need to do lots of data modeling with respect to the business logic before you then create your visualizations. And to create your visualizations, of course, you would need a number of DAX formulas to create your columns, calculated columns, your measures, just to mention a few. And added to that is the fact that okay, let me continue. Added to that is the fact that what is powering within the cloud space, it's key we need to understand what is powering our BI solutions. So we have got what we call semantic models. So the semantic models define business meaning and reusable metrics. So for those of us who are very used to Power BI desktop, I've come here to tell you, yes, Power BI desktop is good, right? But while you design your BI solution using Power BI desktop, put two things into consideration. Put lots of emphasis on your semantic models. Now, why am I saying put lots of emphasis on your put emphasis or put loads of work on your semantic model? It's key because now when you create a very good semantic model, which helps, which can be endorsed, say by your chief data officer or what have you, you can rely on that semantic models even to create other reports, right? So you do not duplicate efforts. You are saving the company time. You are saving costs, right? You have endorsed semantic models that can be used to build other reports, right? So at the same time, you are avoiding duplicates of data assets. So you are making data generally available across board, right? So this one key area I want to emphasize on for those of us that want to practice a unified data culture, at the same time make our organization business ready. Okay, now let's then put everything together, right? From the One Lake to the BI report to making everything available for our end users. This is just a sketch that walks you through the data lineage and access control flow. So don't forget, at the start of this presentation, I did mention One Lake. I've also talked briefly around Power BI, and the areas I've emphasized on, all of these areas I've emphasized on is just to keep us working through a unified culture and of course to make our organizations AI ready. So, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I mean when I say make the organization AI ready. Okay, so we have got here, you have got your source, you have got your One Lake. When you ingest data, you ingest your data inside the One Lake environment, right? Now, if you do some transformations, if you are working with the medallion architecture, you create different environments or different directories, right? If you want to do lots of transformations, yes, you can do lots of transformations, then you create your reports. And of course, you can also create lots of other data solutions like building ML models and of course deploying them and helping your organization take strategic decisions. Okay. Now, because this is an AI summit, I would just talk us briefly around how does AI come in? How do we make our organizations AI ready? So why am I emphasizing on this? You are a data analyst, you are a Power BI developer, you are a data scientist, you are a data engineer, whatever role you might be championing for your organization, it is key that you don't necessarily need to you first and foremost you need to understand that yes, AI has come to stay. The second thing is how do you practice that culture that will make your organization AI ready? Yes, on different data resources from Databricks or data tools from Databricks to Data Fabric, you have got your Copilot, your AI Copilot that assists with analysis. So you've also got the intelligence feature where when you are writing codes, for those of us that use Visual Studio Code, or yeah, when you're writing codes, before you write a code, because of the intelligence AI feature, the code would have been automatically completed for you. So you have all of this already in place, right? You have all of this already in place. But the beautiful thing, what we need to do to make our own organization AI ready is by practicing all of those key or little practices that will make our organizations AI ready. And what are those? Always, as a data analyst, data engineer, always maintain a single logical data foundation. Now, I would bring that in I'll talk about that when by maintaining a single logical data foundation. What do I mean? So to maintain a single logical data foundation, you need to use tools like OneLake, right? Now, using OneLake will help you prevent fragmentation here and there. So you can be rest assured that you have a central place of truth where you can gain access to your data set. Now, you do not just gain access to your data features. You can, if you take, for instance, if you go to your data factory environment, you also still have access to that data asset or data set or that table of your interest, right? So how do you promote a single logical data foundation? It's by using tools like this, right? Using tools like this. Added to that is the fact that OneLake also provides you with the opportunity to have fewer duplicates data available. So OneLake is designed for one copy of data used by multiple analytical engines. Added to that is the fact that you are also able to be guaranteed of fast access to enterprise data via shortcuts. I already mentioned how you can gain access to resources from other cloud platforms, even within data Microsoft Fabric, and you can create access to those external sources as a shortcut within your data fabric environment. Right. Now, it also promotes consistent business meaning through Power BI semantic models. Aside that is the governance, data governance, lineage, and security features you are guaranteed of. Okay. For just before I round this off, for Power BI, you can be rest assured of one definition of business truth, cleaner curated data products, faster experimentation and deployment cycles. For those of us who are into who have started introducing continuous integration and continuous deployment for our BI solutions, using OneLake can help you make that a better reality. So, what are the key takeaways for this? You are either a data scientist. How do you what tools or what practices do you put in place that would help you first to maintain a unified architecture or unified data foundation, at the same time make your organization AI ready? Now, when I say make your organization AI ready, if you agree with me, every AI application is built with data. So if you use your conventional machine learning models, where you first of all do your exploratory data analysis, you train your data set with your model, right? If you do not have your data set, one source of truth, right, you can't train your model. If you don't have any data, you can't train your model. So if I'm to promote that unified data culture or even make my organization AI ready, I must ensure that all my data assets, model assets, code assets, everything is maintained within a source of truth. So that's one key message I'm passing here today. So how do you achieve that? Use tools like OneLake, Power BI, and of course, promote data governance. On that note, I bring my presentation to a close. I just hope I've been able to do well with time.
All right, thank you so much, Kolawole. That wasn't very insightful to say. There are lots of questions for you, by the way. A whole lot of questions. Although you went, it's like you and Chiruk, collaborated to say, let's go very technical. And a few of our audience are very, entry, non-technical to say. And there are lots of questions that you would definitely need to attend to. Okay, so that I won't take much of time. Paul sent us his pre-recording, and we will be sharing. It's currently on YouTube. He shared us a slide. We'll be sharing to our emails. You can watch that session on YouTube and go through a slide in the email we'll be sharing with you. Yeah. So because we have just one more speaker left, we would allow Patrick go next, and at the end we would have all our questions taken. Yeah. So very quickly, I'll be going through Patrick's portfolio. A few, not they are big people, just how I can best summarize it. And he's also currently in the United Kingdom, and he has decided to he has give us time for him to be here today. All right. Very quickly about Patrick. Patrick is a dynamic senior product manager. The first time I got to meet Patrick and it was like, I'm a product, I'm like, wow, that's my line. It's for some mentorship to say. And he's passionate about driving digital transformation across the energy, telecommunications, and IT sector. At the Office of Gas and Electricity in the United Kingdom, he leads the design of innovative, digital-driven solution that enhances efficiency and transparency for energy users and suppliers. With certificates including PSPO, CSPO, and many others, Patrick's combines strategic agility with technical depth. He is particularly focused on leveraging generative AI and agile methodology to deliver value-based, user-centric digital products that transform how services are built and experienced. Patrick is a former lecturer at the popular Yaba College of Technology, Lagos. That's the Yaba Tech. Patrick is committed to using technology, creativity, and collaboration to power smarter, more effective industries and community. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm bringing up to you Patrick from United Kingdom.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Thanks for the intro. I'll be going straight to two things before I do my presentation. Thanks, Shuruk, and thanks, Kolawole. To everyone listening, they are the ones that build the magic that happens at the end. I am the one that speaks to everyday users, and I'm able to understand what users want. Then I will know what to get from them, and I will know how to make decisions to ensure that whatever users are getting from them and from myself is able to meet their needs. Because no matter how beautiful what we've put together is, when users are not interested, we have just demonstrated our brilliance. I'll be sharing my screen quickly if I'm allowed to. Good. Yeah, Olamipo, I don't seem to be able to share my screen. Can you allow me?
You can try to.
Okay. Can my screen be seen, please?
Yes.
Great. So I don't think anyone is unfamiliar with at least what you can see on your screen presently. I work as a product manager in my current role, and one of the very important things I want you to take away from this seminar is 95% of products that we have built in the digital space have always not succeeded. So about 5% of those products that we have built digitally are the ones we are all using almost worldwide. That means that we as humans, after we've left manual way of doing things and we've moved into digitization, we've done part automation, we have not been able to successfully take it beyond that until the advent of artificial intelligence. And what that does is that most of the challenges that we've experienced after we have digitized and we've done a bit of automation, most of those challenges are around errors, reduction in value. When we begin to use something over time, there's always a need for a new version and stuff like that. That's one of the very important holes that I think AI has come to plug for us as humans. Now, as technical people or non-technical persons on this call, it is very important for you to have it at the back of your mind that AI is an enabler. That's what I call it. It's an enforcer. It's going to enforce you to get to acquire knowledge and be ready to actually put in your best shot or your best foot forward. It is not going to be a complete replacement for anyone who wants to see it that way, but I can assure you it will be an adequate replacement for you if you're unwilling to up your game. That's not to scare you, it's just to give you a good news. Let's go into the slide. Look at this picture. A lot of people are talking, different persons, different ideas, and that's my daily life. I listen to a lot of people. Like I said, as a product manager, you have people who make use of what you want to build, and you have people who do the technical work to make it happen at the back end. And what is my responsibility? I am to ensure that whatever the user is interested in is what the technical team puts together and deliver for me to be assured of being able to meet the expectation of the user. So it means if there is a misnomer or a complete breakdown from what was requested to what was delivered, then I'm in trouble. So one of the most important job of a product manager is his ability to communicate to both the people he is getting requirements from and the people he wants to develop those requirements to the expectation of the users. So I listen to a lot of people. I hear people talk every day. People would tell me A in the morning, and before break, they will have changed it to C. And that's a big problem for me. So humanly, I would always have challenges. There's something we call scope creep in product management, also in project management as well. What scope creep simply means is that what was agreed, I mean, the scope of what was agreed is not what was delivered. And that can make something as big as a multi-million pound project to actually fall through the crack and can get someone suspended or someone's license withdrawn. So scope creep is a major challenge that product managers like myself and project managers face. How do we sort this? Thank God for AI. I will show you as we progress with the presentation. I'm going to make it very practical and very direct so that you will see how it impacts you. Because I'm sure within this space that we have this evening, we have people who are looking into doing the technical aspect of digital development. There are people who want to go into what I'm doing presently, which is product management or product ownership. There are people who want to actually manage programs end to end. You would see at the end of the day that everything you will learn from here will definitely add a feather to your cap. Now, the digital transformation landscape is very large. Churuk spoke about data, Kola spoke about data, and I was very happy that they were just falling into my trap. You know why? Because there's so much data out there in the world. Let me give an example. Objects are speaking to us, like Shuruk said at the very first presentation, and it is very difficult for us to really make a meaning of what they were saying to us or what they were trying to communicate to us. And over the years, we had machine learning coming into place where we have, of course, people trying to use different set of languages to be able to communicate what machines are saying to us. I'm a very practical person, like I told you. So if we have cars always piling up on a particular road, there is something that road is telling us. It's either the road is telling us, oh, this road is very small, you have to expand it, or you have to deploy a traffic light, or you have to deploy a means of controlling traffic. But when those things speak to us as humans, we don't see them as, oh, these are opportunity points where we can bring in solutions that can help us to change the entire mindset. So we have a data overload challenge in the world. So much data that is trying to speak to us, and we don't even know how to manage this data. Thank God that AI came. Why? Because when humans experience data overload, then you will need all of the magic that Kola is trying to do, using OneLake, using Power BI to do those very deep analysis and present something to me that convinces me that, oh, there's a need to actually do a major change, there's a need for a continuous improvement in the way you're actually deploying this product, or we have to pivot with regards to this because this is no longer going to work. Let's do something completely different. When data is being made available to humans, it can really be a big problem when we don't know what to do with it. And that is where we have AI coming in to help us interpret the first and foremost, process the data, interpret the data, and give us what we call deep insights. So those deep insights is what then eventually informs how we decide on what to do next. Like the simple human example I gave. Oh, if the road is always congested because everybody is trying to use that shortcut, then it has to bring us to that point of thinking about taking a decision. Do we put in a traffic light to reduce the number of cars that can come in per time? Do we shut the road down for a particular period of the day while we open other longer routes? From there, we are able to get the required insight that will help us to make decision. So what does AI basically do? Like I said at the beginning, not a bad news. If humans refuse to be productive, we look for intelligent ways of solving our problems. And well, we are going to be having humanoids very, very soon. Elon Musk is not resting. So it gives us a challenge. Where do we stand? As much as we try our best to be efficient as humans, our inefficiencies cannot be hidden. And due to that, we need something that can be more efficient in helping us deliver our day-to-day needs, to be able to meet up with our day-to-day challenges and what have you. What has artificial intelligence done for me as a product manager? It has come to provide a platform that makes it very easy for me to do those things which are hitherto very difficult. Anthropic gave a research feedback recently, and one of the things that they highlighted is that what people could take 80 minutes to do previously, they can now use 16 minutes to do it. So what it means is that to review an entire let me say a catalog of information that somebody has given to me, emails, name them, I have to read through each and every one of them to even understand what the communication language or the idea that they are trying to request for me to solve is about. However, from the very first page I showed you, there are so many AI tools there that I could have used to quickly summarize what it is all about. And I will have gotten the first-hand information I require. And I will do a quick validation with the person who sent that to me. And once the user has validated that, I am good to go. So that's one of the most important things that we get to benefit from using AI tools like Copilot, for instance. It has been so immense for someone like me who work within the energy space where we have so much data that actually visits us daily. I mean, we're not even talking about weekly, we're not talking about monthly. Let me give you a very staggering statistic that will really arouse your interest. Currently in the UK, we have over 3.2 million smart meters that are non-communicative. And Ofgem, which is the organization I worked for previously, I've just left there, I've made it mandatory that if the meters are not communicative to the suppliers by 2026 end of January, they'll be fining the energy suppliers £40 per meter. And £40 per meter will be every month. That means that every month, all energy suppliers combined will be paying a fine of that's £120 million. That's a lot of money. So they've run to the organization I work with currently and say, you know what, can you help us to ensure that these meters can talk to us? But that's a story for another time. I just needed to actually make you understand the gravity of what it means when we have so much data together and so much data to process, and how those data can help us to avoid things like the regulators finding us, and how those data can help us to make very critical decisions. Now, that's my problem. Digitization is never enough. So manual procedure of doing things is what we are used to as humans from the very beginning of our understanding of using technology. And after sometimes we look at digitizing things that we know should not be done manually again. And after we've digitized, we did a bit of automation for repetitive tasks, which of course, we do not need to think about how to solve them. However, traditional digital system still relies on what we call human intervention. I was expecting to hear something like that from Cheruk and Kola, something we call human in the loop kind of idea. where I now have artificial intelligence stepping in, helping me to do analysis, doing the needed review for me, and is asking me, oh, is this review comfortable with you, or should I go ahead and make further assumptions based on the model that is being used, or based on the training that has been given to the agent in question? I will say, no, don't worry, I'll take it off from there. So for end-to-end deliveries, let me say, in the first scenario I described to you, where we have to go and collect meter information, one of the very first things we try to do is to even know where those locations are exactly, built an app, get the app to be able to get those meters pictured, let those pictures be sent back to the office end or the back end, like we used to call it, for quick analysis to know the reason why the meters are not even communicating in the first place, because the agents in the office have already been pre-trained to be able to understand why those meters are not communicating, and of course recommend quick fixes that need to be done regarding those meters, while we now send the team that is meant to go to the field to do those fixes just once to the field, get them fixed, and give a feedback. In the past, this is the manual way where it works. Somebody is a professional, is an engineer, he leaves the office, he goes to the client site, and he checks the meter, he looks at it, he romances it, he tries to understand what the problem really is, and he comes back to the office, he lists all the problems, and after then he goes to the inventory, he goes to sign out all the things in it, after which he will now go into the vehicle again and proceeds to site, and he gets the issue resolved and comes back to the office. So he has wasted time, he has wasted money, and he could have used those time for other productive things. Those are the things that digitization, automation, and of course the extensive use of artificial intelligence is going to be solving for myself as a product owner or a product manager. I don't know whether if we have someone like that in the audience, if you want mentorship, is available. So what are the challenges of traditional digitization? Like I mentioned, error handling, speed of processing, user experience is always very poor, and decision making is always based on human judgment. Now, with the agentic AI discussion that was done by Chiruk previously, we have trained models presently where I presently work, and those models are being trained with properly labeled expected, let me use the word pictures, that is going to be used in making decisions when you send in the ones that you have captured at site presently. So let me make something very quickly clear. There's something called QA/QC, which is done by people who are in the telecom sector, and I wish those people all the very best, because in the future there will be no need for a QA/QC person again going to site. What happens is very simple. When someone is done with the task at site, it takes the picture, it uploads it on the portal, it comes to the back end. Once it comes and it is ingested into the back end, the trained model looks at that picture and analyzes it and ensures that there is a very strong level of compliance as expected for every new installation. And when that level of compliance is met, there's something we call the confidence score, which is something that is always put into the AI agents that we have at the back end to do those quality checks quickly. Once the confidence score is, let's say, is at 90%, we can very satisfactorily clap our hands and say that person has done a very good job. So there is no need to send any humans to site anymore to go and do a quality check to be sure that we have been able to deliver something that is very assuring quality wise. So that's why I said, imagine somebody who is into QA/QC, who is on this call today, who is hearing what I'm saying. I'm not scaring you. I'm only telling you, up your game. This is time for you to up your game. If you are the first person to mention that kind of idea in your organization, and you tell your boss that, oh, instead of going to site, I can actually work from the back end. I can work with the team at site. I can get a lot of data sets in. I can use that to work with somebody who's an AI engineer. We can train that particular agent. You're still giving yourself a role because you are still coordinating things and you have an understanding of how things are meant to be. But what does AI-enabled digitization do for us? Predictive analysis, like I mentioned. Dynamic, personalized interactions tailored to the needs of the user. One of the biggest problems I have every day is this. When users come, they tell me something in the morning, like I said, and in the afternoon, they tell me something different. So one of the things I did was very simple. I record meetings. And after I recorded meetings using Teams, I run that through Copilot. And after running through Copilot, I get a very high-level summary, and I share the high-level summary to ensure that I am validating what you have told me in the morning. The moment you have validated that, case closed, you're not going to change that until we are done with that particular sprint cycle. And that has helped me to reduce the time I needed to always take a different requirement in the morning and get a different requirement in the evening. That is helping me to raise my own efficiency and not making me to always be the manual person they will always come and meet and dump their request or their requirements. Go to the next slide. How does AI solve these challenges? Like I said, it doesn't just automate. It intelligently transforms every aspect of digital operations, handling errors, and it helps us with decision making. Those are the key things. When you reduce error, you will raise efficiency, and definitely you will improve users' expectation or user satisfaction. You will enhance it greatly. So if we are able to actually tailor our understanding that we are not just all talking about coding and building agents and ensuring that you are able to translate things from the ingested data into a very beautiful outlook, but we are really solving, problems that plague humans on daily basis. Recently, I'm working on building something very key that I know will help transform the Nigerian transport space. I will not give you all the details, but just to whet your appetite a little, I have come to understand that the way people actually commute from a certain part of the country to the other part of the country is very unpredictable, and bringing in my understanding of product management is going to change everything completely, and it will still be very close to the model of what people are used to when it comes to point-to-point logistics for humans, but it's going to be adding a different flavor where you are able to get feedback or predictive questions coming to you regarding your own movement, and that's going to change the picture entirely. But if you are going to be part of that particular challenge, you can reach over to Thrive in Tech. I'm sure they will definitely find a way of getting you over to speak with me. I go to the next one. Those 3 layers of AI benefits. Reducing error. Like I said, when you reduce error, you are going to definitely raise efficiency. One of the most terrible things with digital products is that if you have an error you covered up and that error went through to production and the released products is being utilized by the users and you are getting data sent in through to your database at the back end, that error will continue to go from one part of the user journey to the other, and you keep carrying over that error. So we have products which we use on daily basis. Some of them had inherent errors. If not for the idea of continuous improvement, some of those errors will be difficult to correct. So the moment you reduce error, you will see that operational efficiency would naturally improve. That's why Facebook has not been the same way it was when it started. That's why Gmail has not been the way it was when it started. That's why today you can log in with OAuth 2.0 without you needing to put your username and password again. So error reduction, continuous improvements is definitely what will raise operational efficiency. What AI does is that it creates value across these 3 critical dimensions, each building upon the other to deliver comprehensive business transformation. The last part is enhanced user experience. If your users are not happy with you, I'm sorry, they don't need to buy your products. And that's the way I think. I think the pound sterling and the pence, I think the naira and kobo, I think the dollars and cents, what it means is that whatever we put together technically, if it doesn't actually meet the user's experience and enhances it or makes them very comfortable to use my product, where I'm able to enjoy what we call product virality or product stickiness, then I have just displayed my brilliance. Nobody will be really interested, like I mentioned. I go to the next one. From a product manager's perspective, those are the 3 things I'm going to always cover: user needs, business goals, and of course, ethical considerations whenever I'm using AI. User needs, I think I've described that in a little way based on my simple examples that I mentioned. Business goals, I think I just mentioned that in the last slide where I told you about the fact that at the end of the day, no matter how beautiful it is that I have built, I would always consider the naira and the kobo, the dollars and the cents, the pounds and the pennies. And if the product is not really getting the level of adoption I expect after it has been released into production, and is not able to move from what I call an emerging product into an established product, then over time it pivots, it becomes needless, and people will move away. How many of us have typewriters in our houses today? I'm sure only very few people. And probably those typewriters are staying in the museum very close to your house, not in your house for that matter. So nobody's interested in that anymore. Everybody wants to actually have a computing system in his or her house. So the business idea around typewriting is gone, and it's gone for good to a very large extent. So the last part, which is ethical consideration, simply means that before I even put things together, using AI as part of what I want to use in analyzing people's details, one of the strongest requirements in the UK is that you must always get the consent of the user. You just don't do things without getting consent from the user. So if I want to actually get your detail and put it into my system where I'll be needing your information to be able to do some back-end analysis, I need to get your consent and tell you what it is going to be all about. There's something we call the GDPR in the UK. In Nigeria, we call it the NDPR, which is about data protection and regulation. You just don't make use of people's information without letting them give you the consent or the go ahead. So as much as possible, Kola, I'm sure, can actually speak more to this. We actually do what we call data anonymization, where you actually make sure that people's direct details are not being used, because some of those info can be consumed publicly, especially within an organization or, out there on the web. So from my perspective, I have dwelled on this. For user needs, let me just quickly mention something very quick, which will help most of us. In the past, when I'm working with my developers and my users content and user designs in my UX UI team, I will ask them, how long will it take to get this thing done? They will tell me, oh, this will take me 6 weeks. I say, okay, no problem. But thank God for AI. You know what happens? Exactly what I want to ask them. I go on one of the AI tools, that ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. I put it in there. I tell it, do the estimation of this for me. Let me know how many story points this is going to be like. Can I have a breakdown of the work structure? Let me have a high-level feedback regarding this. Can you quantify how many sprints this will be requiring for them to develop it? And guess what? I'm engaging my technical team, like Kola and Co, from a very informed perspective. They are not just going to be telling me, oh, Patrick's just selling products. We can give him just 6 months, we'll get it done 6 months. No, I said, no, it's going to get done in 3 weeks. And I will explain to them why it can be done within 3 weeks. And they begin to respect the fact that I am doing my due diligence and I'm not just coming to the office and collecting salaries. Yes, we are coasting home. Yeah, sorry. These are the things I do. Identify pain points, data quality, cross-functional collaboration, and of course, ethically using AI. And like I said, there are many things that has been done with this in the past, and there are many things that has been done with it presently. Healthcare, finance, or fraud. A time will come in this world, fraud will almost be impossible. We are getting close to that. Logistic group optimization, like I mentioned, the case of the traffic jam or the congested road. A time is coming when we begin to adopt automated and AI-led systems within our environments. Some of these things are just going to be the things of the past. The bottom line for me, so that I can round up very quickly, I'm a PM, like I tell you. My strongest power is I communicate very well and I can speak for a long time. Organizations that embrace AI-driven digitization are not just improving processes, they are fundamentally transforming their ability to compete, innovate, and deliver exceptional value to customers. Case in point, there was a company called Nokia. I leave you with the rest. Thanks. Back to you, Olameko.
Thank you very much, Patrick. That was insightful. I think me personally, as a product manager, there's a lot I got to steal from that. I will tend to use Copilot well and all these AI tools. And maybe outside this chat conversation, I could be in your DM to steal more. I think I'll have to register for mentorship too. All right, talk about mentorship. If you are interested in mentorship, product management, data analysis, whatever, you can do well to visit our website at www.thrivingtech.com. And yes, you would .net to say apologies, www.thrivingtech.net. Yes, I take that again, www.thrivingtech.net to put in for mentorship programs. We have skilled, we have professionals who are ready to pick you up and make sure you meet international standard. Yes, we have Kolawole, we have Patrick, we have Churuk, we have a whole lot that are ready to, yes, mentor you in that line you've decided to go on. Yes, you can share with friends, you can share with family. So quick one, Chiruk had to drop off for another meeting. Time is key, and we've done well to make sure she's done well to make sure she answers some questions in the chat. So please, you can just put in your questions in the chat while we run through a few. Yeah, just a piece of information. The recording of this session of this summit would be on YouTube. We've shared the YouTube link. We share it again so that you can rewatch, you can share with friends and family. And of course, we'll be sending materials to your mail appropriately. Yes. So I'll be taking this, and this likely to be for Kolawole, if I am not mistaken. Someone says, for us to be successful in the field of AI, are we supposed to be knowledgeable in data analysis? This is because some of us already have a career path, and that's the cybersecurity.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Yeah, so for you to be successful in the field of AI, I would suggest that you follow due diligence by ensuring that key or fundamental courses or knowledge paths are covered. So I wouldn't necessarily ask you to go and take a course in data analysis. No. So, but I'll ask you to look for a roadmap for AI engineering, which covers the basics. So the basics, the same basics which ordinarily you will learn in data analysis will also be talked about, or you go through that process. So what do I mean? So take, for instance, you want to champion a career path in AI engineering. You need to understand what data is, the different types of data, how data is being, what exploratory data analysis means. You understand how you understand pattern, because we have moved from the coding phase where we need to write codes to solve problems, to using models which would understand the pattern based on the data set provided, which then the models can then make predictions for whatever problems you want to solve. Do you understand? So I won't necessarily, in response to that question, I won't say, okay, yes, you need to go study data analysis first. I'll just tell you whatever roadmap you are using for your career path in AI engineering, ensure that roadmap is as fundamental as possible, meaning all the necessary basics you want to go through, you go through all of the basics first, because of course I can imagine how lengthy it is for some of us who want to start a career path, and they just look at, I have to spend 2 years, just find a robust roadmap. For those of us who are familiar with roadmap.ai, roadmap.io, there are lots of tech career paths there. All you need to do is put in the career path, whatever career path you want, and it will give you a roadmap on how to achieve all of that, right? You can also send a message as well. I could give you share further resources that you could use to champion that career path.
Oh, great, great, great. So you can do all to message our speakers on their LinkedIn. They are very much active, right? And I'm sure they would attend to you promptly. Okay, so we want to make it this quick. So we would prefer we have quick answers, say probably one sentence, and we can engage.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, we have another one to say, especially he has a question, she has a question. What is the difference between AI agents and the regular AI chatbots?
Okay, very good. So your AI chatbots are more like your AI applications, right? So take, for instance, your AI chatbot, just look at the way you engage with ChatGPT, right? you send the prompts and the prompts are delivered to you, right? There's a response you get. So they are deployed as applications out there. You have got different GPT related. You have got Llama, your Copilot. They are all like applications presented to you within the they have what we call user UI UX, the user interface, user experience. They are more like um, um, text-driven applications that you send in your prompt, you get a response. But AI agents are tools within the AI space, right? Which these tools are used to carry out specific tasks, right? So they are tools within the AI space to carry out specific tasks. You can say, oh, you want to check weather forecast. There is a specific AI agent tool you will use, put into your applications to do that for you. You want to do some financial analysis, you want to calculate some sums, you have specific AI agent tools that will do that for you. So to summarize, just to keep it quick, the first is an application, more like a text application. The second is a tool. So let's leave it at that.
Oh, great, great. So I think that's well explanatory. So I know a lot of questions are rolling in, but then to ask further questions, you can reach out to us at thriventech.net and we'll take that. So this for Patrick, very quickly, Patrick, someone is asking, what is the difference between product management and project management? Second question says for someone with a background in academia interested in transitioning into tech, which of these two would be best fit for the person? You are muted, Patrick.
Project management deal with outputs. Product management deal with outcomes. So a project is as simple as you want to build a house and you complete it. After building the house, you are done with the project. But now that house can now become a product. You can paint it white today. Tomorrow you can paint it green. You can change it from a bungalow to a 3-story building. That's the difference between product and project. So for projects, you start them and you complete them. But for products, you continue to improve on them. So projects are like subset for products. I hope that's clear. Now, for someone like yourself, you are just speaking directly to me. I've been in the field, I've been in the academia, and I'm doing product management today. Basically, what you need to first get is what's your superpower? Your superpower should be any of these 4 things. Can you communicate? Can you interact? Do you have a drive for results? And can you adapt? The reason why I started with communication is because the most important skill as we progress from 2025 to 2026 in the whole world now is the skill to be able to communicate. Next, after communication, is the ability to interact. After then, you now look at whether you can adapt to scenarios, because if you are not flexible, you can't do product management. People will frustrate you. That's the truth. Like I said, someone tells you in the morning, I want blue, and by midday, changing it to red. If you're a rigid person, you can't do product management. So it's not very difficult. I'm not trying to scare you. Just look at those 4 things I mentioned to you: communication, adaptability, interaction, and the drive to get results. That will be a game changer for you. And you can become a very solid product manager within the space of 2 years. I tell you, I'm not bragging, it's the truth.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I so much sync with Patrick, and every of his responses, sync so well. Thank you very much. So one last person, we have your answer, Johnson. Yes, this will be the last one for today. Yeah, Johnson, let's have you quickly. Johnson, you're muted. You can unmute.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the section. Very grateful for the opportunity, and I'm saying a very thank you. I also want to ask, particularly for AI tool that one can start up with, like in the aspect of project management. I want to know more of AI tool to use as regarding project management. Thank you.
Yes, I think that's for Patrick. You are muted, Patrick.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Loud and clear.
Yes, so there are so many tools. For AI, basically, I will tell you to start with the one that is most common, and that will shock you.
ChatGPT.
Google.
Okay, Google.
Not even ChatGPT. It's true. Google. What information do you need? What do you want to learn? There are 3 P's that define a product manager: product vision, product strategy, and product roadmap. Go to Google, learn those basics. When you learn them, now come to ChatGPT. Confirm them at a very concise level. Begin to relate. Now start thinking about the things you do on a day-to-day basis. Start thinking like a product person and stop thinking like as if, oh, you're an architect, oh, you're an engineer, oh, you're a project manager. And the reason for that is this: a product person thinks of how can I make it better? A project person thinks of how quick can I complete it? I don't know what I can see the difference between the two. Look at Mercedes. Mercedes has continued to churn out different brands of Mercedes. Is it a project or a product? It's a product. And by next year, I can assure you, a new version of Hyundai will come out again. They will tell you 2027 model, their product, because product gives you the opportunity to get better and better and better. Whereas projects just starts and finishes. So start with Google, from there go to ChatGPT. When you start seeing yourself getting deep and deep, you can reach out to Thrive in Tech for mentorship. If you need any other further question, I will take it up from there. But it's not difficult. It's something you can do. You can achieve it.
Great. Johnson, I hope that was answered.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Johnson. Thanks for joining. Yeah, thank you very much, Patrick. We've successfully answered about 13 questions. Then, in addition to the one that's 14 questions, if you have any further questions, please reach out to us. We're not taking any other questions. Apologies. Patrick, you answer hope.
Yeah, there was someone I wanted to actually give a quick feedback to. Somebody that was asking about data breach. Quick one. Every organization is getting AI ready or AI savvy, or currently even having an AI platform they use. So if your organization has already given you an AI platform to use, then you can use your work information for that. That is not a data breach. However, if you are not already having that in your organization, as them telling you can use this particular tool, I advise you, do not use your organizational data in a public AI platform. That is a breach that can actually cause a lot of problems for you. Just a quick advice. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, we won't be taking this question. You might decide to send it to us at www.thrivingtech.net, and we'll gladly attend to you promptly. All right, it's right about time I bring on the convener of this great summit. Yes, the brain behind Thrive in Tech, everything Thrive in Tech UK, Thrive in Tech Canada, Thrive in Tech Worldwide, Thrive in Tech Nigeria, and of course, Thrive in Tech, the AI Summit, Mr. Ayilara.
Oh God, I'm muted. Thanks all for joining. Sorry we've taken a few minutes of your time. Feel free to watch this event on YouTube, and our next stop is in Nigeria next year. As God will keep us. Please watch out on our website and definitely be in touch with our speakers via their LinkedIn as they have shared. Keep thriving in tech. See you soon. Thanks all for joining.